Not yet. I will mute. Bill, can you confirm that you can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. We can hear you too, on the right screen and everything. Thank you. I'd rather not be up there. I do have to change the video though. Wait a minute.
Oh, she's more nimble. She's got long arms.
No, this is not the camera we're supposed to use. How do I get the right camera? That hasn't happened before. Nope. You can shorten it to the best of your knowledge ability. But best of your-
So good evening. It's now 7:05 and we were going to Historic District Commission. We're going to be doing, this is a hybrid meeting. So there are several members who are on Zoom. And those of us, the rest of us are here in the town council chamber. We ask that if you people try to speak one at a time, identify yourself when you choose to speak, and mute your microphone to raise these things. Anything else? So I think we'll start with the roll call. Susan Skeena, chair. Sub vice chair. Roger Miller, alternate.
Richard Bennett. Bill Watson, member.
Carol Smansky, zoning officer.
Maureen Giusti, acting town planner. Oh, yes.
Oh, and the Zoom people. I forgot about you guys already. Out of sight, out of mind. Bill.
I'm having a lot of trouble hearing only certain people. Some people come through clear. Some people come through as they're being picked up by someone else's microphone. Could you all make sure that your microphone is on when you're talking?
So go
Can you
like,
hear me now, Bill?
if you go around the room and do this, well, now. Okay, yours is definite. Yeah.
The light is on.
It's on.
Okay, well, that, the light was on. So
So we do have to speak to our microphones. That's about what I'll tell you. We've had that trouble. Right, on and
Bill, can you
off.
hear me now? Hello, Bill?
I can hear you very faintly.
Hello, Bill. Can you hear me now?
Just barely.
Huh. Yeah, you want to move over just one, maybe see if that works better, because you can hear me, Bill, right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, so maybe that's an overused microphone for all the chairs.
Can you hear me now, Bill?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Must have just been the microphone. Maybe it's a connection issue. So, Bill, we are all here and you are here.
And
Can you
Amy.
hear us?
Amy Pressure, alternate.
So, we have a complete roll call.
Let's see. 5 regular members, so you have 5 regular members. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Bill. Yeah, so we do not need the alternates to be seated.
So I open the meeting with the continuation of the public hearing for certificate of appropriateness, HDC 2021-01, a request by Nicholas Nero, 100 Housing Holdings LLC for property at 991 Woodridge Ridge, demo of a barn style building. Okay, we have continued this several times. We have requested certain information from the owners. They have provided us recently with the letter from their insurance company stating that in their thing, they would cancel insurance on the building, which from the letter that they sent appears that they have canceled insurance on the property as of September. But we had asked them to provide some other information or to contact Reconstruct, see if any of the materials on the barn might be salvageable or could be donated. And as far as I understand, we have heard nothing from the owners about this, just about providing the letter. Right?
Correspondence you have with them.
Just the insurance letter. That's already received.
Thank you. I take it the homeowner is not in this room.
There are no other participants are in the room or on Zoom at the meeting. They were forwarded both the link to join as well as the agenda and in emails to both the representative who's supplied most of the information as well as Mr. Nero via email.
So I have to admit that I am at a quandary as to what to do. I mean, the building in its present state that it has been allowed to deteriorate. It is a hazard. I had hoped that they would contact the Reconstruct to see if any of the barn would or architectural things, and just that window or something were salvageable or might be of interest to somebody in doing any kind of project. But as far as I know, they have not reached out to anyone. I had provided them with a name at the last meeting, and I have contacted with that person, and he said no one has reached out to him. And as far as I know, they have not reached out to constructive. Like any thoughts as to salvaging any of these. Relevant comments from anybody else?
I just wanted for the record to say we did get that letter from their insurance company, but it was dated January of this year, saying that they had to remediate these problems. And we did not even contact HDC until May, I think.
They wanted to come before the, yes, ma'am. They wanted to come before that meeting, right before, yeah. Correct.
And then when they sent us a copy of this January letter, also attached was a letter saying their insurance was terminated September 18th. So do they not have insurance now? It just seems kind of irresponsible. I don't know the background is what's happening here. But it's this kind of pattern of neglect to stay on top of things and to do anything with this, the house or the barn. And when I was looking through my old emails, I happened to, and I'd forgotten about this, that in 2019, an architect by the name of Tom Carlone from Avon had contacted me, and he wanted historical information about the house because they were looking into renovating it and maybe bringing it over, changing it to a one-family house. I'd completely forgotten about that, but he said they may decide to keep it as multi-family. They said if you switch, you can't go back. And I never heard anything more from him, but restore the house. That's when we got that in there, but I don't know why for all this time they bought this property in 2010, and they've done absolutely nothing to the exterior that I can see. And the house has a lot of issues on the exterior, and of course, this barn was neglected. So I'm wondering, you know, in my mind, it would, somebody buys a historic house in the historic district, and this does nothing to it, and it seems totally irresponsible in my eyes.
Was the owner supposed to be here tonight?
There's been a pattern of he's not come, or he's had a representative be on Zoom who couldn't answer questions. This has been going on since May.
I'm not sure why we were discussing it. He's not even here.
Well, for myself, this is Susan, I just don't know how to proceed with this. And I am looking for guidance from any of the other members here or from the staff as to how to proceed.
So for the record, he was at the last meeting. He joined the last meeting via Zoom,
His brother did.
or his brother did. I'm sorry, one of them here as representing the application. Did appear via Zoom at the last meeting. The August meeting, I believe, well, we had a couple meetings where no one showed up, and then another meeting where his office representative was on the telephone. Just to get that straight. The demolition, the certificate of appropriateness regarding demolitions, I'm just going to read it again. I know I've read it at several of the meetings, but I think a couple because of the time lapse between the meetings. If a building or structure is to be demolished, no demolition shall occur for 90 calendar days from issuance of a demolition permit if during such time the commission or the Connecticut Historical Commission is attempting to find a purchaser who will retain or remove such building or who will present some other reasonable alternative to demolition. At the conclusion of such 90-day period, the demolition permit shall become effective and the demolition may occur. Nothing in this paragraph shall be construed to mandate that the owner of such property sell such property, building, or structure. In the beginning, the certificate of appropriateness starts with no building or structure shall be erected, altered, restored, moved, or demolished within the historic district until an application for certificate of appropriateness as to exterior architectural features has been submitted to the commission and approved by said commission. The certificate of appropriateness shall be required whether or not a building permit is required. Nothing in the regulations shall preclude the relocation of a historic structure into or within the district. However, a certificate of appropriateness shall be required for such activity. So there's nothing here that really defines the parameters of a demolition certificate of appropriateness, because we're not finding here, nor did we find in the state regulations of prohibition to demolishing the building. Just as certificate of appropriateness should be issued or the demolition permit gets issued after 90 days. No demolition permit has been applied for so far with the building department. I think he was coming through this process first. We did not find an application, at least in the permit system. So there's still the opportunity for 90 days for the commission to reach out or to reach out to the historic, the state historic commission to try to find reuse. But other than that, if an applicant applies, it appears as though there's not much prohibiting that demolition after a 90-day period.
So, I mean, it almost sounds to me as if you're saying that we don't even have to approve it. We can ask for a 90-day delay, but otherwise it's just going to be. We don't have to issue a certificate of appropriate.
It does not seem so. It's like, it doesn't really tell us what the certificate of appropriateness in this instance would be. Although it does say it needs a certificate of appropriateness before it's demolished. At the same time, the demolition permit, if after 90 days of trying to find, the historic commission can delay that permit issuance if it's in pursuit of alternative plans for the building.
I know that the house is for sale. I don't know what they're thinking, if they're just going, they're just getting rid of this and hoping somebody will buy it as it is or something. We really don't know because it's been here.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We have no idea what he's gonna do. You know, there's no plan in Richmond College. As to what he's gonna do.
Right, but however, so a demolition permit would be required, and they would have to demonstrate to town staff that there's, it's not left unsafe, nor that it's causing harm to an adjoining property. If you cause your property to, like one of the comments you've made earlier was drainage. If you cause your property to drain onto your neighbor's property, then you're in violation of the zoning regulations. So that's becomes a violation before it becomes a solution, I guess. Unless they
And we
put those-
just deny the certificate of appropriateness, we can say no, and have to reapply if you want to do it this time, come to a meeting. If you're done with it, we should close this tonight. We shouldn't drag on.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have a meeting tonight at all.
That's why we tried to reach out to make sure, to see if they were going to confirm somebody would be in attendance, because if they confirmed nobody was going to be in attendance, I would have reached out and let you know that.
Are they supposed to be here today?
Yeah, they got several emails. They got and she replied to the email, the office
And they
manager
obviously-
replied to the email.
They obviously don't care about the decision. They say table it, and then you apply next month.
Well, if you want, it's so if you would deny it without prejudice, I guess would be probably the way to deny it, so that they could reapply within a limited time period, then that would take it off the table. And if we were to get in a demolition permit, we would then not allow that demolition permit to be issued until they went through this process again. Well, to the best of my legal ability to do so. And that is actually kind of a suggestion I would have, is that perhaps the commission make a decision on this item. And then at the time, if it's not favorable to the applicant, then at the time he applies for the demolition permit, he would then have to come in and get a certificate of appropriateness, just like anyone else who applies for a building permit, because that's a building permit, it's a building permit. They come in at that time, they get notified that they need to come to the historic district, and they come back, and now they have a pending building permit, subject to the denial of a building permit as well from the building inspector. If they don't get the certificate of appropriateness.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, alternate members are allowed to participate in the public hearing, just in case they get seated during the process.
So if this is denied, then you inform the Nero that it's been denied, you put something in communication letting them know that this doesn't mean, so if he wants to demo this building, that he needs to come in front of us again, will he be informed, so he doesn't play the card saying, well, I didn't know.
He would get a letter of approval or a letter of action via certified mail.
It'll be clear to him that means if it's denied, that means he can't still do what he wants. He can't knock it down.
It would lay out what, to the best of our legal authority to do so. I was gonna say, so Amy put in the chat something as opposed to, so she, if I may, she said that seems like the best course of action, deny without prejudice. She put into the chat.
Bill, how do you feel?
Oh, you're muted, Bill. Unmute.
Deny without prejudice. I agree with Amy.
Does anyone else have any other comments before we, put the motion forward?
So can I just
Oh, go ahead.
procedurally, you should close the public hearing and then make a motion just to get back in the track of normal course of business, because this hasn't been.
So does anybody else have any more comments before we close the public hearing?
Susan, wonder if I should contact a circuit rider from Mesa Trust and just see if they're interested in publicizing this at all.
I think that would be wonderful.
I mean, I could do that, even though it's not decided.
I think that would be fine. I would really appreciate it.
I don't, yes, and I understand how it works, that they need the permission of the owner to list their. Barn like that. So I'll find out.
I had hoped that somebody, I know that you guys are familiar, you two are, that Herb and Richard both have experience in building something. Somebody else would tell me who does, deal with these homes, if there was any interest in buying it like that, because I know at one point there was a market for it, but,
Well, the problem is, it's just Common Rule 1/6 sign, which is still available at most big lumber yards. There's nothing special about it. It's just it's weathered for 100 years, which doesn't make it any better. It would save it and save any part of it would be make the demolition much more difficult and expensive, because you couldn't come in there with a big excavator and smash it and put it in a dump truck and haul it away. So taking it apart board by board, it's a little dangerous and requires some special equipment.
okay, well then I make a motion to close the public hearing. So I should make a motion. I call for a motion to close the public part of the meeting.
Motion to close the public part of the hearing.
And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Meeting says aye. Or she's not. Okay, so do I have a motion to deny without prejudice?
So a motion should generally be made in the affirmative, so that then it would fail to carry. So motion to approve, and then whether or not you get the votes to approve it or not is what would fail the motion.
So.
Is that not
do I
complex
have a
enough?
motion
But
to approve the demolition of the structure and
I'll make the motion.
no, this is some information. Or there's nobody who makes the motion.
no, then you'd make the motion to approve.
Okay, go ahead.
To approve the structure.
You still need the second.
Need a second.
We're
We're voting on the motion.
Yes.
But we're voting on making the motion, and now we're gonna vote for or against the motion.
So you vote, so you make a motion in the affirmative, and then it fails to carry if everyone votes against it. Because otherwise you get into if you make a motion to deny and you need a majority to approve the denial, then it gets wonky. So it's always better to make a motion in the affirmative.
I'll second the motion.
Now, we're gonna do a roll call.
wise, especially with the denial. It sets the record much more clearly.
Susan, you vote
Against, to deny, voting to deny.
Lorraine stuff, I vote to deny the motion.
Richard Bennett, vote to deny.
Herb Watson, vote to deny.
Bill,
Bill Singh, vote to deny.
So let it be known that the motion has been denied.
Motion failed. Application is denied.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, moving on to the agenda. Review and action of the minutes from last month's meeting. If it was moved, so moved. And I think you made some corrections. I didn't see anything else to me. So do I have a motion from her that we're ready to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make the motion to approve the meeting as presented.
I'll second that. And all in favor? Aye. Okay. Now, moving on to business, other business. Is there any old business from the last meeting that we need to share with? You had the Borough Fair that went well. Okay, so then we move on to new items. And I guess, Richard, you have, anything else?
Yes, I'm going to be attending only one more meeting and I'll be resigning. Due to the fact that I sold my house and I'm moving to South Carolina. in December.
So then I believe that what we have to do is submit a letter of resignation both to the town clerk and to the town council.
At least the town clerk, but it probably should get directed to the town council. Kate can give you exact direction on that.
I want to say, I for one am very sorry to see you go. Me too. Yeah,
Thank you. It's been a wonderful experience. Because that's what my wife told me.
we wish you good luck and, you know, wonderful retirement. Are there any other new business?
I just wanted to comment that the September, October edition of the Preservation News has come out, and I understand that's online as well.
Well, I think the only other thing that I would mention is that, I mean, I guess there we need to consider if anybody knows of anybody who's interested in being on the commission. The alternates. The alternates can step up, but some of them is just like
Just switched places with some members.
I think Richard should recruit somebody before he leaves. Recruit a neighbor.
your son with you.
He does. He does. Doesn't live on March 3rd.
I don't even.
You don't have-
It's I believe it's a percentage. It's not, in this. It might be in the bylaws.
There's supposed to be a minimum from that live in the district
Right.
if they're willing to serve.
Oh, if you have enough members. Okay.
Part of the problem has been a lot of the people who live there a long time have already served. And feel like they've done it. They don't want to rejoin.
Yes, well, doesn't the town council or the town itself put things in the paper?
The town council has a recruiting method. I'm not sure what it is.
All right, well, I mean, I think it's a very short meeting. Is there anything else that anybody needs to add or would like to mention? I'll call from you. All right, so I call for a motion to, you know, conclude the meeting.
I make the motion to conclude the meeting.
I'll second. All in favor? Well, thank you all for joining via Zoom. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.